An unlikely armada of ordinary citizens bring their boats to ports and harbours all around the south coast and take them over to Dunkirk. Fishing boats, lifeboats, cockle ships, they go over and they withdraw these men, pull them back and rescue them from under the noses of the Germans.
Hitler doesn't know it, but this move will cost him the war.
Hitler's decision to let the army get away would come back to haunt him. 4 years later, some of the soldiers who escaped from Dunkirk would return to France at D-Day. This time they were more experienced and out for revenge.
William landed near Hastings, but the Saxon army was still up north. They had to slog it down south. The two armies finally met at Senlac Hill. Harold's tired men, feet aching from legging it down south, got the high ground, with William's men facing them in the valley below.
How are we going to make this boat made out of paper?
We've taken some hemp paper, which is what Taylor used, and got a bit of an example here of this sample I've done with a bit of brown paper. We're going to stick it together, lacquer the surface of it.
What do we lacquer it with?
We've used a traditional kind of lacquer that he would have had at the time.
Yeah.
So here's a tiny model we made earlier.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I'm not.
We're really going to make that?
We really are going to make that.
How?
You can give us a hand, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah.
If you care to just hold that corner there. Okay. And we're going to fold that end over, get it up level with the other side. Oh boy. And if we can just lift that up for a moment, you begin to get yourself a boat shape.
It is boat shape.
It is a...
I have to say, it's pretty floppy.
Tremendous size. I'm still climbing. I'm trying to close in for a better look.
From piston-engine fighters after the Second World War to modern fast jets, there's no question these have been dueling in the air with something that just cannot be explained.
My God, I see people in this thing.
Sometimes with disastrous results. Pilots just disappeared into thin air.
It's clearly not an aircraft.
Now, you've been a big favourite with the kids in the last few days. How do you do it?
Essentially, history is just brilliant stories, and we just want to tell those brilliant stories in a variety of ways. So we've got crazy wigs, and we've got crazy cars, and we've got aeroplanes, we've got diving helmets, we've got lots of stories, and that's what we've been doing, just great stories.
You see, it's very useful. It's very useful having you guys here, because people always say to me, oh, they bump into me on the street, like, oh, I need a really amazing story to convince my kids to do history, and I'm like, I'm just literally putting my shopping in the back of the car. So what are the 5 best stories and anecdotes that fly with the young people you work with?
We've been telling the story of this guy here, who was the smallest man ever to have been in Britain. He was 18 inches high,
yes.
Born in 1619, and then he was given to Queen Henrietta Maria, the wife of Charles I.
Yeah.
And he was that high. So
that's actually that's real height.
That's real height. Now that's not what he looked like. He doesn't look so much like Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden.
Not so much.
It's a bit more like William Hague actually. But I made him in that drawing. I made him look a little bit more rock star really. But he shot a man dead in a duel on horseback in 1644.
To be fair, he's got an unfair advantage in a duel.
Absolutely,
Yes.
and this was part of his tactics. He actually painted his image on the other man's chest and said, look, any shots outside that don't count. Absolutely true.
Still heard, don't count.
So, his name was Geoffrey Hudson, quite well recorded, even in his lifetime.
Geoffrey Hudson, anyone else? What do we...
First winner of the Monaco Grand Prix.
So Willie Grover.
He is a Bugatti Works driver. He is a man who loves adventure. He lives in central Paris. He's married to the 30s equivalent of a supermodel.
And then when war breaks out, he becomes an SOE agent and runs operations in Paris.
He teams up with a man called Robert Benoit, who's his old racing rival. And together,
a First World War fighter.
And a First World War fighter pilot. And together these two guys basically sabotage the Citroën factory because, of course, he speaks fluent French. Bugatti Works drivers, racing drivers and spies. Terrific guys.
Citroën has never recovered since.
Never.
That's exactly
that's
a joke we make as well. We live
Take our lines.
We live in fear of a Citroën lawyer turning up in one of our shows.
I love the way you guys finish each other's sentences. It's great to have you on. Thank you very much. Thanks for bringing some of your props.